Welcome to ERAtv, where we have a little fun with the movers and shakers in the DR business. I'm Craig Burnett here with Michael Terpin, CEO of Social Radius. Michael, good to have you with us.
Nice
so
to be
tell
here.
us what Social Radius does.
So Social Radius is a full-service social media marketing firm. So similar to the way that an ad agency or a PR firm works in those media, in the traditional media, we work organically for the most part in the social media, everything from blogs to the social networks.
Okay, so how has the social media space changed the way the DR producers work? Because they still have to do everything they've done for television or radio for all the years they've been doing it, but how do they have to adjust things to accommodate what's going on in social media?
Well, it hasn't yet, other than the perception of what's coming is on most people's minds. Just as there was a perception many years ago about the web changing things going back to the mid-90s, but it took years even to get, say a website up as an alternative way to order other than an 800 number.
Right.
Similarly, you don't see an awful lot of call this 800 number or tweet to this address. I think that what has not been realized enough is that in 10 to 15 years, television as we now understand it will not exist.
Right.
And so when you don't have, to a certain extent, there's already been an impact in the sense that you don't have this 1 a.m. till 3 a.m. channel shopping mentality when everybody has TiVo.
Right.
And everybody's also on their Facebook and everything else. So a lot of the dynamics of what worked 10 or 15 years ago don't work today, and conversely, there are things that are working right now for marketers who are enveloping and using the internet and social media that can work for people who are not using it, whose background comes from pure television, direct response.
Now, it seems to me like there are inherent positives to social media where perhaps people and bloggers who maybe aren't even connected with the advertiser can talk about their positive experience with a product or do a review on their blog or whatever and really provide an opinion about something that people can trust inherently because it's on a blog. But conversely, do you find that a lot of damage can be done by somebody who has a bone to pick with the advertiser or maybe got a bum shipment or something? And talk about that a little bit.
Well, certainly damage can be done online whether you're involved or not. Okay. So that's one of the biggest questions that we answer is hiding from social media will not protect you from social media. In fact, if anything, it's going to do more damage because there's a lot of screaming going on and you're not even being part of the conversation. By being proactive about social media, a couple things happen. Number one, you're monitoring and listening so you know what's happening. And number two, you've established a base of support of evangelists, of people who really like your product, to defend you against the rogue person who's out there who may turn out as a competitor.
Oh, okay. So there's some of that going on, some of that corporate espionage sort of thing.
Absolutely.
How do you guard against that, though? I mean, how do you, because once it's out there, right? How do you mitigate that damage and reduce it as much as possible?
Well, just as there's crisis control mechanisms in the traditional PR world, there's what I call crisis blogging, there's crisis social media. In the old crisis world, it was called keep it a one-day story so that ABC News is not going over and over and over about it. In the social media world, it's called get it off the top page of Google as fast as possible.
Oh, okay.
And there are a number of ways to do that. First of all, the first thing that anybody should do who's a multi-channel marketer is to be able to control as much of the top 10 of Google as possible, of your product, of your company name. There's a lot of companies that they don't even know what they've got in the top 10, and when they look, it may be a directory that is pushing a competitor that's ahead of them. And there are methods to be able to make sure that your website is up in the top 10 by updating it with social content frequently, that you have a blog or two that also will rise up to the top because of its frequent update and its links, and that you have robust Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus and a number of other networks that can get you on the keywords that you most have associated with your brand in the top 10.
Is there a danger that it's what killed disco? Is there a danger that the young folks who are really active in Facebook and Twitter, and I know there's an older segment of the market that is too, but is there a danger that they're going to start seeing through this marketing that we're doing to them through this tool called Facebook or Twitter that they trust and believe in? Is there a danger that we're going to do that too much and reduce the effectiveness or start a resentment there in the younger crowd?
Well, first of all, there's a misperception that social media media is for kids. The average age of a person on Facebook is in the 30s. 20% of people on Twitter earn over $100,000 a year in their family income. In fact, the kids, so don't even use Twitter. They're like, in Facebook, that's what mom's on Facebook, I'm out of there.
Okay.
They're using things you haven't even heard of, like Tiny Chat. Because as soon as, if you're 15 or 18, you want to be on something that your mom's not going to find.
Right.
And in terms of just seeing through things, I remember back in the mid-90s when the perception among the sort of early people on the internet was, no way the people on the internet will allow advertising ever on the internet because it's a community. And some of the early people that advertised literally got their shut down by viruses and saying, we're keeping the internet ad-free. Well, $40 billion a year later in advertising, obviously that didn't work. And same thing with social media. If you divide up social media into the different areas of it, blogs alone are read by 135 million people at least once a month. That's obviously not just one small demographic.
So blogs are not dead, because I've heard that
blogs are not dead.
Too.
Blogs are by no means dead. Blogs are healthier than ever.
All right, very good. Lots of fascinating stuff, Michael. Thanks for joining us today. And I gotta start tweeting more. I have a Twitter account, but I'm not sure people care what I do on a daily basis.
Make them care.
Oh, see, there you go. He's come up with a solution already. Thanks for watching ERAtv. I'm Craig Burnett. We'll see you next time.